the continent of Africa via our social media platforms. Our Facebook user is Ask Muvi TV. Our YouTube user is Ask Muvi TV. Get to the comment section and give us your comment regarding this very pertinent issue that we're discussing. We're discussing, is this the Zambia that we want? Now, really, before we can get down to the nitty-gritties of our conversation, you released your album titled Here I Live, or simply put, Here, on the 4th of July 2020. And I think the copy is here with me in my hands. What are you trying to communicate in this piece?
So the album is basically around inequalities and how that translates into the standard of living for the people, especially given the fact that we live in a very wealthy country, and how many of our people benefit from that wealth, and how does inequality affect each one of us differently. So the album is a compilation of thoughts, ideas, and what you could hear from people who are not allowed space on mainstream media institutions. So that's what the album is about.
Simply put in one word, what would you say the call to action really is? After I listen to the album, what is it that you want the listener to do?
I would like the listener to first of all understand that we're living in a very unequal society, and it is up to them to demand and create a very equal and inclusive society.
What would you say about the current state of, especially young people holding, government to account? Do you see, young people coming out in the open and holding government to account?
It is a very delicate situation that we find ourselves in. Young people would want to do that, but then maybe criminals are not allowing, because maybe it's criminals that are determining who's free to do so, who's free to question and who is not. So when you have a situation where you have criminals regulating behavior, if you have criminals regulating character of a society, you are automatically telling those that would question behavior not to question the behavior of those that are regulating society's behavior.
Do you think those that are currently regulating behavior are criminals?
I would confidently say so. Yeah.
Well, you seem to be one that finds and lands yourself in a lot of trouble. I can give you quite a few examples. In 2015, you did the song Alungu Anabwe.
A very beautiful song.
Yeah, it was an instant hit in 2015. Yeah. Alungu Anabwe, that got you into a lot of trouble with the police. In 2017, again, you did Kosono Mpoto. That.
Yes. A very beautiful song.
Had your life been taken out, which ended you getting to flee to South Africa to find exile there. The conversation that has been very consistent, especially from 2015, when you actively started engaging into these issues that pertain to governance, people aligned you to the UPND. I do remember your response when that that allegation first came. You responded saying that politicians are all the same. They would want to be with you and then later on leave you. That was your response. In short, you said you're not affiliated to the UPND, but this again has started coming to you. What do you think people see the need or have had, this posture of aligning you to the UPND?
So first of all, Andrew, we must first of all understand that that's how much we've damaged society. So we've created a society where people think in two colors, it's red or green. So whatever you say, if it fits the greens, they'll give you the greens. If it fits the reds, they give you the reds. And that's none of my business. As much as I would want to be held accountable, I would not be pushed in the standards of somebody's thinking. Secondly, the people that usually accuse me of belonging to any political party do so because that's the easiest way they can hold a conversation about me or with me. So those that say that I belong to the UPND, are saying so because that's a convenient excuse. If you remove that from the discussion, they have nothing to argue about. They have nothing to talk about. So they pick that argument conveniently because it sustains their narrative. It sustains their discussion point. And for me, I don't think I'm so kind enough for people that refuse to think, and they that choose to hold on to a lie for them to just be relevant in whatever discussion. If I was UPND, I could proudly announce it. UPND is not a terrorist organization. It's a political party legally registered in Zambia. So if I was a member of the UPND, I would say it, I'm a member of it, and nothing, and nobody would stop me. But I say I'm not a member because I'm not a member. I don't want to be a liar.
Do you think you're a bit extreme in your in the way you express your art in your songs? Alungwa Nabwela in 2015, clearly, it seemed as if though it was a campaign song to demean the caliber of President Edgar Chagwa Lungu. 2017 again, Kosomo Mpoto. I do know for a fact that you refuse clearly that,
As a matter of fact, I have a song coming out in December. A very beautiful song coming out in December. So you could be counting the third one.
Well, in all these two particular songs, Alungwa Nabwela, Kosomo Mpoto, well, directly or indirectly, it seems as if though, they've been directed against the head of state.
So first of all, when you say I'm extreme, I would ask you by whose standard? Whose standard am I extreme? My standard is not extreme. And secondly, the assumption that I'm directing the song at any particular individual is the cultivation of your mind. If I wanted to direct a song at an individual, I would do it. I would do it. I don't think there is anybody that can stop me from doing so. I would do it. But if you intelligently get this description and then you fit it into a particular individual, you're smart. You're participating in the creating of art. And that's what artists do. So I create this frame. And then you identify, you look around society and you pick a figure that fits in this description. That's your work of art. I keep saying my philosophy is that the best song I have ever done in my life is not the one that I record in the studio. It is the one that you record, that you play when you listen to what I did in the studio. My biggest song is the one that you play in your mind when you listen to what I did in the studio.
What inspires how you write your song?
Life in general. So every stage of my life, every stage of my journey has its own inspiration. And it all comes from life. So I look at things, I look at life, I look at people. It leads to a specific inspiration. So, yeah.
Well, let's get to some other issues, besides your music career and all that. How would you describe the current state of our democracy, especially as we head towards the 2021 general elections? I do know for a fact that this particular election is one that is mostly anticipated.
Okay, so to begin with, democracy is not what we claim by declaration. So saying we're a democratic country doesn't in any way mean we're a democracy. The best expression of democracy is in how we conduct ourselves, how we conduct our affairs. I'll give you an example. In a democracy, there is freedom of expression. As I'm talking to you right now, there's a young man called Matomola. Matomola is in prison today, and he's been there for 10, 11, 12 days now. Not because he committed any crime, not because he did anything that was against the law. This young man only protested to add his voice to an issue at the University of Zambia. He protested an idea or a decision by the Vice Chancellor, which was meant to disadvantage the children of the poor people. Matomola decided, I'm going to add my voice, because this is not a decision in the best interest of our people, best interest of the poor people for that matter. He protested, and as we are talking, he's in prison. That doesn't happen in a democracy. It never happens in a democracy. What defines democracy is the freedom of expression, which we can sufficiently say is non-existent. Secondly, in a democracy, democracy is a contest of ideas. In a democracy, people debate, people fight with ideas. In Zambia, we don't argue with ideas. We fight with machetes. We fight with pangas. That's not a democracy. That's war there. What I'm telling you now is that this is not a democracy. Democracy is only the part. It doesn't matter what we say about democracy. We only believe the part of democracy that we both put in action.